Yo, good morning. I love you, and I hope you slept well. You've been on my mind, and I've been thinking about you. um, oh, I feel happy, and I'm ecstatic and excited to be here. We have music, so hopefully that will help when I'm being quiet. I ultimately decided on not doing a timer that's digital because I feel like this is pretty charming. I might do it in the future, I might not, I don't know. I also think that as I'm establishing this habit, we've reached. Gosh, have we reached a full week? It might be a little bit less than a full week. Um, but it's got to be getting close of doing this, so that's awesome. And as I do this, I will be building more of a structure, shall we say, um, for what I want this stream to be and how I want things to be. I am I am divided between making things more casual and making things more structured. Maybe leaning more towards the structured side, but we'll have to see. Because part of me wants to be like, yeah, let's make it really informative and stuff. But then part of me is like, well, it might be more fun to just kind of like joke around. Or maybe, like all things, the answer lies somewhere in the middle. I don't know. So yeah. I hope y'all got water or some sort of beverage. And you guys are ready to do some drawing today. I think I am going to lean towards making this like a draw with me. And in the future, I'll be adding like a structure, like more of a sound structure. That's kind of the plan. So I suppose, without any further ado, we can pretty much start. I'm gonna warm up here. I just have a couple things planned for today. Honestly, what I have planned is pretty limited. Most of it's just gonna be off the cuff, I think. So yes, but I think that today I want to focus a lot on pen control stuff because I haven't done that, and I just think it would be a big help. Because it doesn't matter how good my understanding of something is and how well I'm able to communicate it, if when I draw with this pen, it doesn't do what I want it to do, you know? At this point, I'm still drawing lines that look like that. And obviously it's going to take a long time before I can get like really good control and really have things, you know, looking exactly the way that I want it to. But I can speed up that process by doing like a big study. So I think that today we're going to be doing a lot of form and pen control stuff. That's kind of what I'm thinking here. That's the main goal for today. I don't have much going on today, so I'm gonna hopefully stream until noon. So good solid, 3.5 hours or so. So that'll be really good. But yeah, I think let's work on some form and some pen control today. So I guess let's just set a timer and start. And now I'm gonna be able to like mute and stuff, and there'll be like nice relaxing music to listen to. So yeah, that's kind of something I'm thinking it's gonna help the stream out a lot. Or it can at least just be quiet, without having to worry about it too much while I lock in. Yesterday was Mother's Day, and me and the family went out and played a bunch of pickleball. And we played a lot of games, let me tell you. Like, over 10 games for sure. And my wrist and hand are a little bit sore. I should have used my left hand. Fun fact, little story about me, lore drop time. I used to be left-handed, but I am no longer because like all through like my early developmental years, I wrote with my left hand and I did everything left-handed. But when I got to school, I had one of those teachers who thought that left-handed people were evil and forced me to write with my right. And I would always get in trouble because she'd be like, yeah, his writing isn't very good. And it was because, you know, I was being forced to write with my right hand. What a weird thing to believe in. Yeah, I don't know. And so it's one of those things where it's like, you'd think that you'd be like, oh, cool, so like maybe you're like low-key a little ambidextrous. Nope. I just suck with both hands now. I mean, if you suck equally with both hands, doesn't that kind of make you ambidextrous? In a way, yeah. I still do certain things with my left hand, and I still do certain things with my right hand. So it just depends on the activity and things like that. Like I sew left-handed, I bat left-handed, I bowl left-handed, sometimes. So there's like a lot of like things that I will do. I throw the frisbee left-handed, but not baseballs for some reason, even though I do bat left-handed. So it's just like a really weird like mash of things. So that's kind of where I'm at. You know, I used to be like way more into calligraphy. I still think it's really cool, but I haven't practiced it in a while. I honestly was just like I was practicing like every day, and I was just it's very fun and it's very satisfying to be practicing it. And like anytime I got a chance to write, I was like, I am about to flex, and I would just write like crazy. It would look like SpongeBob's essay that he spent like an hour on, and it just says the word "the," and he's got like the crazy big T and like everything like that. That's like what I was doing. I was like learning like black. Is it called Black Point? I think that's what it's. I'm pretty sure that's what it's called. It might be something like slightly different, but um, and I was trying to create my own kind of font, so I was using like big chisel pens and stuff like that, and it was pretty cool. I wonder if I have any of my practice sheets anymore. I don't know if I do or not, but I was doing it, and it was a lot of fun. Okay. I promised myself that when I thought of something that I wanted to like add or change or do, I would write it down. Hold up. Ugh. Like on stream, you know, like if I had an idea for something for stream. So I'm going to keep this little notepad. Write something down. I also had somewhat of an idea for doing like one comic panel a day. Or maybe a page or something. Because I feel like that would be like super interesting to see everything like evolve over time, like a really, really long time, like and it's really slow. I don't know. Just something I have thought about. Guys, I also think I forgot to mention that I'm really happy and excited to be here. I don't even think I said that yet today. But it is the truth. I'm like elated almost. So cool to be here. And I have so much happiness. Gotta be appreciative of where you are and what you're doing. Some people do not have the option to pursue what they love. And so the fact that I can is a gift that I am eternally grateful for. Type beat. And I got food on the table. And clothes on my back and a roof over my head. Cannot complain. I am simply a cone novice. I am so bad at drawing cones. Like, I don't know what it is about the way that I draw them. It just never quite looks right. I don't know what it is. Oh yeah. Actually, I'm very close to finishing the sketchbook. In fact, there's only one page left after this. So, that's pretty good. I'm pretty happy. This is the last, like, not new sketchbook that I have. So, once I finish this last page, I'll have finished, like, all the, all the sketchbooks that I've had from my past that I've, like, drawn 2 pages in and then given up on. And that sort of thing. So, that's pretty cool. I think it's important to, like, do those things. Somewhat like how when you're working out, when you get really fatigued and break down your muscles, that's where growth happens. I think the same is true with art. When you push past things that don't look the greatest, when you're like, man, I don't really want to do this, but you persevere anyway, I think that's really important and really good. And I think that's where you get a lot of growth and, where a lot of winning is done, basically. So, yeah. So yeah, one of the things I wrote down is trying to find like a more interesting warm-up and maybe applying a little bit of thought and into the structure of my streams for now, especially while I'm on more of like a path of like learning. When I'm goated, when I'm really good, and when I can just do whatever I want, and I can't already do whenever I want, but when I have a little bit more technical skill, and especially proficiency with this pen, I will be able to do things more, like, lax, and just kind of pop on and do whatever. But I think in this period that I'm at, where I'm, like, really trying to, like, hone in my skill, and kind of build back up almost the basics, I guess you could say. While I'm still in that mode, I think I want to keep things really structured and like maybe more educational, because I think it would be cool to like show people that you could start from an area that's like, like what I'm doing right now. Like anybody can do this stuff, and I think that's really cool to be able to show everyone. I think this is the last page, yeah. The last page of the sketchbook. So, yeah, that's kind of my plan. That's one thing that I wrote down. Yes. POV, I hydrate. I try and drink like a gallon of water a day, and I don't always get there. Like, it's not a prison, but I do try and get there like every day, and for the most part, I do pretty good. But I will say, if you're going to be trying to do that, if you're going to try and like drink a gallon a day, make sure that you get enough sodium and potassium, because it's really important to make sure that you're not just like giving yourself an oil change and just like cycling it through your body, Like if you get enough sodium and potassium, you'll actually be able to store the water and then deliver it to different parts of your body when it needs to. So yeah, that's just like something like really important to do. Yeah. So today, we are going to be working on pen control stuff and form things. So the reason I'm doing form, even though I do feel like I have a decent understanding, is because it's basic. It's like a basic enough practice where I feel like I'll be able to like really improve my line quality and stuff. But overall, I'm going to be drawing a lot of lines today. We're going to be doing a lot of lines today. Today, for the stream, I'm going to be doing 100 lines. And then it just cuts to me like this. Just passed out. Yeah. Anyway. Try not to yawn, impossible challenge. I swear, I feel like I only yawn when I'm like on stream. But maybe it's more like I'm just aware of it, but I be yawning like a lot. It is early, it's 9. And we already been on here for half an hour. It barely feels like it. When you do what you love, it goes by quick. But this is the last page of the sketchbook. And I think I'm gonna just fill it with lines, honestly. I'm gonna do things more structured though. I want to do vertical and horizontal lines. And I want to really drill them. And I think I'm gonna try and do like long ones or something. And then from there, I really want to focus on getting things like even with the line width and the line weight, and like straight obviously would be nice, but mostly the thing that is really bothering me is when I draw my lines. Well, you guys have seen, but when I draw my lines, like look at the difference in line weight when I just am just. And I know it's never going to be perfect, and that's okay. But I do feel it can be bettered. So I am going to be working on that. So I think, well, I don't even put it this way. I think we can set a timer and get started. You know, honestly, they're not that bad so far. Okay, well that wasn't great. I think that one big thing for me is I have a tendency to just hold my pen like this, and I want to do vertical lines like this. And when you do that, the brush gets caught, and it's going to be like imprecise. And if I were to simply just turn my hand in some way to make it more vertical, you know, things would be better. You know, for a while I was holding a pencil, I was doing the candlestick grip with my pencil when I was doing like graphite sketches and stuff like that. I actually have some pretty good ones. Maybe at some point I'll show some of those that I've done. But with the pen it's just a lot different. And am I jumping on the trend of using... I feel like lately now I see everyone going, you need to be using a pen. So am I jumping on that train a little bit? Yeah, 100%. I mean, that is just not a straight line, folks. But it's okay, this is why we practice. And then there's like other drills where they draw like a dot to a dot, and the whole goal is to connect it. Yikes. It's okay, this is why I need to do this. I feel like oftentimes in life, when you reach some sort of roadblock or plateau and you feel like you can't move forward, you need to scale back what you're trying to do. Like, if you can break your problem down into small pieces, then you're able to like rearrange your plan of attack and organize a bit better, and you'll be able to attack them better because they're smaller targets. They're easier to achieve, you know? Like, before you can run 100 miles, you gotta be able to run one, you know? And so, what I try and do is apply that approach. Look at the difference in thickness. I think maybe I should be using my whole hand for stability and not just trying to balance it, because low-key that's what I'd be trying to do. It's like if I use my pinky and I have it out as like stability, I wonder if that'll help. Let's see. Maybe. I mean, is that the straightest in the world? Not even close. But the tone is, the width is pretty even. I don't know why I keep wanting to say tone. Can you guys see that, by the way? Wait, you totally can if I can see it. When I focus the camera, can you see those green boxes? There's no way. If I can see it on screen, you can see it. Interesting. I feel like I never noticed that. For some reason, I feel like I assumed that it was just me who could see that. So, when it's a thicker pressure, or when it's a thicker width, it's a lot easier for me to maintain. Well, I say that, and then this line is not the greatest, but I do feel like in general, when it's a thicker line width that I'm going for, things are a lot easier to maintain. Wonder why that is. I will say these days, I try really hard to not grip the pencil really hard, like really tight, because oh my god, when I was doing graphite drawings, I'm sure everyone in here who does art can relate. I was gripping that thing. I was like caveman grip. I was white knuckling it. Pencil ready to snap at any moment. And I think it's good to find a way to just kind of relax. And that's mostly for longevity's sake, but especially when you're doing graphite drawings, you don't get those ghost lines because you just like try to rip. You're trying to draw on the table beneath it. You're trying to carve your art into the earth. So I think it's good to practice keeping things light and loose. Definitely one thing that I need to work on is posture. I think I low-key need to get like a pillow or something to put under my chair so that it props me up and kind of forces me to. Because I'm telling y'all, my posture's not good. I think the worst thing for me is I have very rounded shoulders, so like I'd be like Skinwalker hunched over, like Gremlin. So I don't know. That's just something I need to work on. No. What can you do? But I'm trying to do exercises to strengthen, like, my back and stretch out, like, my chest and traps and stuff like that, because I know that can really help. Hey, the width on that's pretty good. It's not the straightest line in the world. In fact, it's pretty unstraight, but I definitely think some sort of warm-up with more of a structure will really help. Tomorrow I'll have that implemented, and I have that on my little notes here for like stuff that I want to add. Also thought it could be cool to go over, like, for the people who care, maybe doing like a, I don't know, like a Patreon or something like that where I like review my drawings and do more educational style stuff. But I don't know, I feel like everybody and their mother sells a course. So I'm not like trying to, I don't know, trying to buck the mold a little bit. Do you guys feel like you have still hands? I do not have still hands. I'm not even trying either to like make my hand shake. Oh, actually doesn't look bad. Left hand though ain't good. I need to work on that. Do some like hand exercises or something. There's got to be a way to get more still hands, I'm sure. Okay. Taking a second here, I'm going to switch over to maybe doing some vertical lines. I feel like for the most part, I can do relatively straight horizontal lines. I mean, this might lead you to believe differently, but I do feel like I can. Yikes. But vertical lines, I feel like I struggle a lot more. Ooh. Okay, maybe I'll do horizontal lines until like the timer runs out and then we'll switch to vertical. Yeah, let's do that. If we're gonna be here focusing on line work today, we're gonna do line work today. You know, I'm slightly curious what it looks like if I do this with a pen. Just a ballpoint. I mean, that's pretty solid. That's why I'm saying I feel like it's this pen that I just need to get better at. But it's so fun to use. Like, I love using it. So I'm gonna keep using it. I love how the ink just like flows out. And I feel like I have really good control with it. You know, and I can do crazy cool things with it. And I can do like super thin lines too. It's like super nice. And I mean, it just looks nice too. Feels nice to hold. It has a nice weight to it. My only thing is, I wish there was this brush that was just slightly longer. And you know, while I'm asking Pentel if you want to make orange ones too. I would take it. I would take it. Orange is my favorite color, so if y'all wanted to send something. I feel like if you're gonna get a pen, you're just gonna get a Pentel pen. Like, I'll put it this way: I've never gotten a Pentel pen and been like, I really don't want, like, I dislike this. You know what I'm saying? Because even the other brushes, these ones, I really like these. I love the length. They feel really nice. But like, this one's just really nice. So that's why I use this one, just because I like the width and I like the performance. It just, don't stop, you know? It just works so good, works so hard. That's what I'm trying to be like. Okay. Alright. So, trying to just create lines with even tone right now, and it's going not the greatest. That's okay, that's why we have these drill days, and I still have 10 minutes of practice. And I think from now on until I feel a lot more comfortable, I want my warm-ups to have a lot of focus on the line width. But that, I mean, is pretty even. Sorry, just put my head in a way. That is pretty even pressure. So it's mostly with the thin lines, and like, of course it would be. I mean, you have less contact on the paper. It's gonna be harder. I also could probably choke up. Somewhere along the lines, I used to be right at the tip, and I would right at the what now? And I would be. Okay, let me rephrase what I'm about to say. I would be right at the end here, and I would be, like, clutching it, like, gripping it. So, you know, I'm trying to fix that. But when I started using those brush pens, I don't know what, I started just holding it, like, back here, and I'm trying to have, like, not a lot of pressure, and honestly, this has been the most comfortable it is to hold a pencil. Every time, or pen or whatever, every time that I hold a pencil or pen from this far away, and my dad sees it, he always tells me that I feel like, he feels like I'm doing it, but I don't mean it. Like, I'm drawing, but I don't mean it. And I'm like, dude, that can't be farther from the truth. Okay. Like, 8 minutes-ish left before, we finish with horizontal lines. I'm probably gonna rotate canvas in a little bit. Ugh. Okay, let's rotate canvas. Rotate. Bro. Try not to yawn. Impossible challenge. I'm gonna mute because I gotta move stuff on my desk. I was just gonna feel bad if it was just like bass boosted blowing out y'all's eardrums. And then I do that and bass boosted blow out y'all's eardrums. Apologies. I think I might start setting my... This is another thing to write down. Like, this setup is on, as I've said many times before, like a card table, and so it's a very precarious situation. Like, yesterday I was like looking back at the stream and I used pencil for a little bit, and when I was erasing, brother, it was not good. it was like shaking the whole setup, so it wasn't good. As far as line width goes, it's pretty solid. Definitely, it's mostly just thin lines that I'm struggling with. And those are the most technically challenging ones, so maybe I should just focus on that for the rest of the time. Okay, not terrible. Not terrible at all. Ooh, that was not good. Yeah, I'm trying really hard to also keep longevity in the back of my mind when it comes to doing this stuff, because if I'm going to be doing this stuff every day, and especially if I'm going to get to a point where I'm doing it like a lot, like basically drawing like full time, you know, 8 hours a day type, well, even more than that, obviously. What I'm trying to say is, if I'm going to be drawing all day, I want to keep my health in mind, obviously, and avoid things like arthritis or anything like that. So I try to be really mindful. I'm trying to do like stretches every day and in my wrist and hand. I'm trying to draw a lot with my arm, hold my pen really relaxed. Another thing that I try to do, which I don't know if I would recommend to everyone, but I do try and do this, is other things I try to do left-handed. So if I'm not, holding it like if I'm not drawing, I'm doing it left-handed. And I do feel like I was aided in the fact that I used to be left-handed, like I said earlier in the stream. So it kind of allows me to do that. And I do find myself forgetting from time to time. Like sometimes I just don't remember to do that. Like for example, yesterday, playing pickleball and using my right hand, even though I definitely could have used my left hand. I wonder what the pro scene for pickleball looks like. I'd be quite interested to see if people are like really good. Because my favorite thing about pickleball is it's so quick and precise and agile. It's less of like I hit it really hard and then I run to one side and hit it really hard and then run to other side. I feel like it's like really quick, like people just hitting it like back and forth. It's a cool marrying of like tennis and table tennis. It's just like somewhere in the middle. Or ping pong, whatever you want to call it. Okay. That is time. Okay. I am going to be right back. I have ink in my hand, that's weird. Wonder how I got that. I'm gonna be right back, y'all. Probably like 5 minute break here. But I shall return. Rest my hands and all that. But first I'm gonna grab a little bit of water. Next we're gonna do vertical lines. So I know, really exhilarating stuff, but it's important to drill basics and to do the little things like this because that's how you get better. That's how you like achieve things. So, I want to become a great artist, and in order to do that I have to have good pen and line control. So, yeah. If you have the courage and foresight to scale your goals back and be humble with the things that you're trying to achieve, you will get there. So, yeah. Anyways, I shall return. Be back in like 5, y'all. Y'all, I'm telling you, when I don't know if anyone can relate, but I'm trying to quit drinking energy drinks, and I feel like sluggish and stuff, and I'm like, I like really want one. I'm trying to like stop at least drinking them every day because I don't like the idea of being like reliant on something, and I am reliant on it. I don't know. My thoughts on this go back and forth, and I feel like every month I'm either just slamming energy drinks, or I'm like, I don't need them ever. And so I think the answer lies somewhere in the middle, with like a balance. That's just one thing I need to work on as a person, is more balance in my life. But I literally was having like, I'm like, man, I really want one, and so I kept going, opening up the fridge, grabbing it, and being like, wait, I can't. Shutting it. I'm like, I don't want it to like affect my drawing and like make me shaky and stuff, especially when I'm working on line work. And so I'd like walk away, and then I walked back and I opened it up and I put my hand on it. Like I literally was like having like withdrawals, you know what I'm saying? And I was like, man, look at myself, man. Like this is not a good look, Trev. So I decided to not, and I stopped. But I'm like, man, crazy that it can like kind of have a grip on you like that, you know? Because, like, guys, I was not drinking it in moderation at all. At all. I was having, like, 2 a day, 500 milligrams of caffeine. Not 500 milligrams twice a day, but, like, in total. Like, between 5 and 600 a day. Which is, like, pretty high, I think. Because, like, a coffee is, like, what? Maybe 100... 60 to 100 milligrams of caffeine. Anyway, I know that like the research is that caffeine's pretty fine, but I'm drinking like energy drinks, which is like I don't know. I know nowadays everyone jokes about it, and they're like, well, did you see that study where they injected a rat with lethal poison and then let him sip on a Red Bull and he died? Yeah. You're gonna die if you drink that. It's like, that's not the case. But, I don't know. You know, I digress. I think, it's so hard to keep up with nutrition. I feel like I don't know. I feel like the research is always coming out. It's always contradicting one another. I low-key think they're getting paid by people to, like, do... It's, like, it's hard for me to, like, find someone where I'm like, okay, this is a trustworthy source. They don't have any incentive. They're not, like, tied to anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, it feels like everybody's, I don't know, like, compromised or something. But, I digress. Okay. I actually did finish this sketchbook, but I'm going to use the back of this page, I think, and I'm going to just draw more lines. So, I'm also slightly curious. I'll rip it out. I'm curious to see if doing things on flat paper increases my performance at all. I have no idea if it will or not, but I am interested in testing it out and seeing. So, yeah, that's the plan. We're going to do some vertical lines. Okay. Time to lock in. See, this is what I'm talking about. So, my main gripe is, like, I want to hold my pencil like this because this is how I hold it. And draw a line like that. And if I did it like that, it could be a lot straighter. Okay, or maybe it just isn't. Well, I was gonna say, but holding it, like, holding my pencil vertical, I don't know. Maybe pulling away from me is the way. And that actually feels pretty good. I don't know. It doesn't feel quite right yet, so I have to build up that kind of like muscle memory. That's all. So I just need to keep doing it. Okay, so I feel like I definitely noticed a difference. Like, I'm having a little bit of an easier time, like, controlling the width of the pen. And I feel like that's... Ooh. Like, I feel like that's the case for both vertical and horizontal. And so I'm feeling I'm feeling better about that. However, I am just, I mean, like, these lines are not straight. I mean, these are bad. So I'm definitely gonna have to add this to like a nightly routine. Like, this is gonna have to be done a lot more, in order for me to like improve and get better. So I'm gonna add that. But I think I'm gonna do like just a cycle of these lines, and then from here I'll do some like maybe form stuff, and then maybe I'll finish out the day doing a little bit of some gesture drawing work, or maybe I'll just draw like a piece that I feel like doing. I'll probably do something like that. I'll just draw whatever I feel like. So I'm gonna do lines. I gotta stop saying that. I'm gonna draw some lines for a little bit, and then once I finish that, I will do some form stuff, and then just draw like an actual piece or like whatever I feel like doing. So that's the plan. Okay, log back in. You know what could be cool is to like download some sort of document that like helps specifically with to like download or create this document that like helps you specifically gain proficiency with lines with a brush pen. So like maybe dotted lines to help you like draw straight, and then different like think like two lines, almost like a track or something, and you draw a line in the middle to like see how evenly you can create your line weight and how even everything can be and stuff. I might make that actually. I'm sure. Yeah, I might actually make that. If there's not some like that are already out there like pretty readily available, I might actually make one. That's a good idea. I'm gonna write that down. Yeah, that's definitely something I'm gonna be doing today, probably. Definitely something I'm interested in. And then maybe I'll make it available for you guys, like, somehow. I don't know through what yet, but yeah. Okay, so overview time. I'll say this at the end when especially when I first started, having to draw lines like that with this pen and like angle it in a certain way and not just hold the same way felt very alien at first. Um, like it basically felt like when you throw something with your offhand, or I don't know, when you it just didn't feel right. You know what I'm saying? It felt a little bit uncomfortable. But by the end, that motion I feel very comfortable doing. So I think that's like a good start. Is now that I feel more comfortable with that motion. The lines, I'll be honest, guys, aren't the straightest. I think towards the end I was getting some that were pretty straight. But nothing near perfect at all. But it's okay. You need to have the humility to own up to that and keep working on it. And, like, you just have to have grace with yourself. Like, I'm trying to learn something new. I'm trying to get better, and this is how you do it. So it's okay if you don't succeed. Like, I'm just gonna, my success is an inevitability because I'm just gonna keep going until I do. Um, we've been streaming for like an hour and a half. It does not feel like it at all. So that's pretty good. Still got like 2 hours left. So definitely pretty good. I'm excited because I have a new sketchbook that I get to start using, and it is smaller. I will admit, it's smaller than this one, and definitely need to get bigger ones in the future. Um, so that's one of the next things that I want to probably get here. Is just a bigger one because I kind of want it to cover the whole thing. I don't know. I feel like that'll look better. Um, I know what you're saying, Trevor. Why don't you zoom in? This lens is a fixed angle, and I have another lens, but it's so long that like it shows like this much of the paper. So for me, just like a bigger paper I think would be better. Because I don't want to have to be fiddling with like zooming in and zooming out. In the future, maybe that's something I'll consider, but for now, I think it's best like that. Oh my god, I keep yawning. Let me grab another sketchbook. Ugh. So this is the new one, 9 by 12. So it's definitely a lot smaller. But that is okay. At least the pages are perforated. Because I feel like that's not always the case. But yeah, okay, so next thing that I'm gonna be working on is form stuff, just to practice more with getting familiar with my pen, some more mileage, getting things more even and smooth. I'm gonna be doing some form stuff for, well, I have 2 hours left, so maybe form stuff for like an hour. And then I'm going to just draw whatever I feel like doing. I might do some studies and whatnot. But the thing that I want to draw for some reason that I've been thinking about is a blimp or a zeppelin. And so that's just what I feel like drawing. So that's what I'm going to draw, I think. And I think that works really well for today because I'm doing form stuff. And that'll be a good form exercise. So this is the methodology for doing form stuff. It's the same methodology as everything else. It is, you draw some sort of three-dimensional shape. It can be, organic or geometric, however you want it to look, doesn't matter. You draw it, try to make something interesting and unique and add little divots and bends and extrusions and stuff like that. Then you draw from a different angle. And you just keep doing that, and that improves like your technical skill, your visual, your ability to visualize things in your mind, and just overall helps with all of those. And then I'm going to be trying to focus on getting like a strong foundation with this pen and just getting a lot of mileage. That's what today is going to be chock full of, more so than it already has. Almost a little bit less than halfway point through the stream, so that is basically the plan. So that's what I'm gonna do. I have been thinking about maybe doing both sides of the sketchbook paper, but I don't know yet. But anyway, I'm going to lock in here. So yeah, you guys know the drill. Okay, I definitely am gonna need to focus on drawing bigger with this sketchbook. Since it's so small, I feel like I'm gonna have a tendency to draw really small, and I just feel like I have that tendency in general. So we're gonna think bigger and draw bigger. So, yeah. One sec, chat. I'll be right back. Ugh. Sorry about that, y'all. I had to take a phone call. So I missed a little bit of time, but actually it kind of works out since it's 10:30. So I think we'll take a little 5-minute break here and then get back into it. So okay, so for drawing, when you're drawing these like forms, it's really good practice for drawing with memory. It actually can be pretty tough sometimes. Like, I don't know, I haven't done this in a little bit. I don't know if you saw, but I was actually I was low-key struggling for a second here. All right, come on. There we are. So yeah, you just draw a shape. So like, for example, draw this shape, and then you just try and draw it from different angles and try and imagine how it would look from different angles. You know, this cylindrical boomerang type shape. Okay, here's different angles of it. This little mailbox type shape. Here it is in different angles. And so that's kind of the methodology. It's just a good way to like kind of practice doing things from imagination and practice with form and stuff. And that's something that, like, I mean, you can always hone in on your basics. You know, you can always improve on basics, and that's something that I think is a good thing to tackle while I'm still trying to learn this pen. And I have more ink on me. I don't know how. Anyway, and then yeah, so for this what I was just trying to do is draw it from a different angle as well. So this is like the same shape, just kind of rotated, and in my mind. And sometimes the contour lines help describe the form a little bit and things like that. But yeah, I think I'm gonna do another drawing cycle of that, and then for the last hour of the day, we're gonna do blimp drawings. I don't know why I feel like drawing like a Zeppelin or a blimp. You know what? Is there a difference? I'm about to look that up. If there's a difference between a blimp and a Zeppelin, because I actually don't know. I don't think, if I had to guess, I would say there isn't, but let's see. Primary difference between a Zeppelin and a blimp is their structure. Zeppelins are rigid airships with an internal metal frame, while blimps are non-rigid, relying entirely on internal gas pressure to maintain their shape. Zeppelins generally offer greater size and speed, whereas blimps are smaller, more maneuverable, and easier to transport. I see. And then you hear dirigible, and then you're like, okay, what's that? Dirigible is an umbrella term for both blimps and Zeppelins. Okay. Thanks for letting me know. I was genuinely curious. Yeah. I have to say I'm really happy with myself for being here, because this is something that I wanted to do for a long time, but I was a little bit afraid to do it. And, the fact that I've been here for, like, almost a week. I don't know if it is a week yet, but it's gotta be getting close. I'm really happy with myself for how far I've come. Because honestly, I'm like an inconsistent person, and sometimes have trouble with keeping habits, and so the fact that I did it is really cool, and I am not gonna stop. We never gonna stop. So I'm just gonna keep drawing and keep doing my thing. So That's the plan. But yeah, 10:35. So let's do a couple more things with form, I suppose. And let's lock back in. Yeah, I totally did not mean to rip that out. Oops. Oops, it's okay. How we feeling? I'm feeling good. I can't believe it's already like 2 hours. Like I can't believe it's already 11 almost in like 10 minutes. That's crazy to me. Like time is really flying by. And that's a good thing. Because another byproduct of doing this is to try and improve my focus, because my focus is chalked. And before I even started doing this, me sitting down for like 3 hours was like not gonna happen. So it's good that I'm able to like do that, you know what I'm saying? And it just goes to show that focus is a skill that you can hone with consistent effort if you just sit down and continually increase the time. And I know people often will say like it's not about how, it's not necessarily about how long you study, but or work. It's more about like how smart or hard you work. It's like how deep you can get, and I think that comes from the quality of your work times the amount of work you put in. And so, like all things, the answer lies in the middle. Um, so yeah, I will say I do feel once I have felt like once I start getting to the 3 hour mark, my focus does deteriorate a decent amount, and I think maybe I could benefit from taking like a longer break, but I don't want to take like a 30-minute break for stream. I mean, I already take like 5-minute breaks, and I low-key need to stop doing that because I'll just leave the building, not the building, but I'll leave the room and just like leave chat alone for like 5 minutes, and I just shouldn't do that. If I gotta go like run to the restroom or whatever, that's one thing, but I shouldn't just like sit there and like leave. So I have to work on that for sure. But it is good to take breaks, rest your hand for a couple minutes, rest your eyes, focus on things farther away. But anyway, I digress. We shall continue. I think doing this type of thing is just like really interesting because you can spawn some really cool looking shapes out of it that could become like, you know, honestly really cool things. Like you could make cool robots and designs for stuff by doing it. So I think it's really cool. But okay, so that's pretty. I think that's a pretty good place to call it for doing form stuff. I've got another basically hour of streaming. Um, about to put me at like 3.5 hours, which is good. I think that's pretty much tied with the longest stream that I've had. So should be good. But now we are going to be doing like a study, and for some reason I feel like studying dirigibles, aka blimps or zeppelins. So I'm gonna run to the restroom and I'm going to grab like my iPad, get some references. We'll do some studies using the methodology that I've been using, and then from there we will from there we'll make some of our own designs and we'll go into how that works. So I shall return. Okay. Look at that. Perfect timing. Got like about a minute to spare. Okay. Okay. I'm excited to do some blimp drawing. Sometimes doing that type of stuff can be a little bit mundane. Honestly, I drilled it for pretty long. I don't think you need to do it for as long as I did, now that I think more about it. Like, I think a better approach, instead of doing like one huge study, would be like when you wake up and when you go to bed, like right before you go to bed, you know? Just doing like a little bit here and there. I think that would be the ultimate approach. And then doing that for like a week. And I think I am going to start doing that. I'm going to design a worksheet today that like I'll find a place to put up. I don't know where I'm going to put it up yet, but I'll do a little worksheet that I'll put out, and then you'll be able to like study it and do it daily, you know? Hmm. Okay. Alright. Everything is fine. I do have to go, though. Alright. So, yeah, everything's fine. Maybe I'll stream later today. I don't know. It's honestly probably unlikely. But tomorrow, I'll have a bunch more stuff, and I'm constantly improving the setup, constantly improving the stream, trying to make things better. But yeah, I do gotta go. Just gotta take care of some stuff. But like I said, everything's fine. But yeah. Thanks for being here, as always, guys. Keep pushing, even when things come up, even when your day is busy, even when you don't feel like it. Find your reason to keep going. If this is really what you want to do, if something's really your passion, keep going. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be a solid 6 hours every day. Be fluid, be like a stream, keep moving forward, and putting in consistent effort, and you will get to where you need to go. When things get tough, when you get blocked, when you hit plateaus, set your sights to be a little bit shorter. Do have the humility to do the things that are easy or maybe seem like, you know, something that you're beyond. I'm an artist who's been doing art my whole life, and I just practiced drawing lines because I needed to. And like I think a lot of people in my position and stuff would get really discouraged by that fact, because it's like, what? I've been doing it for so long, you're telling me I need to do this. Don't let those thoughts enter your mind, you know? Just stay focused and you will get to where you need to go. Just keep moving forward and keep doing the thing, and your victory will be inevitable. So, anyways, I owe you guys Zeppelins tomorrow. So I'll draw Zeppelins, dirigibles, blimps, everything under the sun tomorrow. We'll do some really cool designs for it. But until then, guys, you are what I bear my heart for.